nataka Baunanuma Nananda Tonalasa
Can you message him then?
Yeah, I am on this as well. Sign out.
All right. Hi, Derek. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm still taking in the fact that I've been given a title.
Yeah, I think it's only right and proper. You are a historian.
Yeah, not too good though. I don't think I'm that much of a historian.
Well, you can
Although
have
I do
sometimes.
have one little fact that I'll bring up later, if that's all right.
Okay. Well, here's one, and I've never had an answer to it. Where did the term piss jackets come from?
It's these striped jackets what you used to get at the sea school.
Yeah, I know. You wore them on board for cleaning jobs. And they were always known as piss jackets, but I never knew where they got the name from.
Yeah. They're pissing around in.
Can you hear us, Bob?
It's obvious.
Okay. He's here. He's good. Blackpool.
I've got volume now. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, that's good.
I've got the Alclene anymore.
Bob will know. Bob will know what.
Bob, you're the oldest and wisest amongst us.
Don't ask me that question. I haven't a clue. I always knew.
I always thought it was to do with pissing around. You know what I mean? The jackets are pissing around in.
Well, that might be, Steve.
Yeah. We used to call them Andy Pandy jackets.
Yeah, I always known them as piss jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy Pandy jackets we used to call them.
People used to cut the sleeves off them, didn't they?
That's right, yeah.
It's a bit ragged. Yeah.
You get the Goanese tailor to give them a nice finish.
Yeah. Early rise in Australia.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah,
okay.
We done shit up there.
Double header.
I had to be at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was up at 3:30.
Wow.
Good bit of business, Macca. Good business at that time. You can charge big bucks. How you all been? Morning, Blackpool, Bob. You had a good result on the weekend.
Yes, very good, wasn't it? Yesterday. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Pity Dave's not here. I could take the piss.
It was that good, Dave staying away.
Yeah, Jimmy's staying away, I think.
Yeah. Leicester got battered, didn't they? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
4-1. 4-1.
All them kids
I don't know if I'll see Gizzy.
Yeah. All those kids from United on loan playing for Forest.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were after our star player last week. They didn't get him, fortunately for us.
Hi, John.
Hello. Good
How's
evening.
your
all.
week?
Hello, John.
We were talking about cooks this morning on the Aussie Crew Bar.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, I was trying to remember, scratching my brains for the cooks I could remember on Spirit of London Sun Princess. And I remember one that stood out. He was a really nice guy. I don't know if he's still around. Ricky Kirk.
Yeah, he disappeared off the scene. He was a very good artist and a larder cook as well. Some of the things he used to create. I've got some of his artwork up in my lounge here now, actually.
All right.
Yeah, I've got some in my office yet.
Of eagles and hawks, I think they were. I bought 3 off of him. He had these I forget what he called them now. But he had so many printed off and all numbered, which he signed.
Yeah, there's a Channel 4 video of him explaining all that somewhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Laura, shut up.
Yeah. I doubt if I can find it, but I know I've seen it. Yeah.
I've got them in my office here.
But after the Spirit of London, I think I've got an idea he actually left the sea, because I never heard anything of him after that.
All right. He was a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah. He used to. There was one instance some of you might have remember. It was a fancy dress, and there was him, Roger Cheney, and another cook, David Cullen or something, I think his name was, and they come as Bill and Ben and the Flower Pot Men. and Weed was in the middle, and they was all joined up. I think they won first prize actually. It was very good. But Ricky created all that as well. He was very, very artistic.
I was trying to remember the other guy. Was it Tony? He had the glasses. He was quite thin.
Fluff. Tony. Tony.
Is it Reynolds?
No, Kirk or began with a K. Tony somebody. I know you mean Fluff.
Fluff, yeah, that was it. Fluff.
Yeah.
You know what happened to him?
I know. Again, I think I don't know. I got an idea. He did go to another ship for a short period of time, but then he's disappeared off the scene for many years now. So I don't know where he is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh well.
He was quite a character, actually.
Yeah.
We've had Charlie the chicken in. We've had Charlie, haven't we?
Yes.
Charlie the chicken.
Oh,
Yeah,
Charlie
Charlie
Chicken. Yeah, well, he's on Facebook. Charlie Perry, his name was. He was a third baker, and he went on to another ship. I think it was Sea Princess or Victoria. When I was relieving there, he was on there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to him after that.
You know, I never knew his second name until we started doing this room.
Yeah, Charlie Perry.
He was
That Charlie who
The chicken.
used to make all the ice sculptures.
Yeah, whenever there was a disco, he always did his chicken thing with it.
Yeah.
That's how he got the name.
I'll tell you,
Chicken
I
dance.
with on Facebook this week is Martin Kane. Martin Kane.
Oh, Martin Kane, yeah, he was a second baker on the Victoria or Sea Princess when I was leaving there also.
He was on Sea Princess when I was on there.
Yeah.
He was a good mate of Terry Donovan and
That's right.
Bob Atwood.
Yeah, well, Bob Atwood, I think, passed away some time ago, a few years
Yeah, I
ago.
went to his funeral.
Oh, did you? Yeah, yeah,
It is a few years ago. I went with Alan Bacon.
yeah.
I think Katowski went. I'm not sure if Taffy went as well. Taffy Rogers.
Because his brother was a union convener.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm.
John, there's a chap out here called David Cook who would have worked with you.
Yes, that's right. I know David. Yeah, yeah. He was
Little Scottish guy.
That's right. Yeah, he was on the Spirit and also on the I don't know if it was Canberra or CP. It might have been CP. Yeah,
He lives in Sydney. I see him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on Facebook with him. Yeah, yeah. He hasn't changed much.
No, hasn't aged at all.
No.
Not like you then.
Thank you very much.
No, Bob. Let's talk about the one in Aussie.
I waste of time taking all those pills.
They're sideways, Steve.
I can't.
I thought it wouldn't be long till you get
I'm trying to do
your
something with the phones, but I can't do it. I don't know what the hell's going on.
So Bob, tell us, is your Australian trip still on?
Pardon?
Is your Australian trip still on?
Well, hopefully. I had a message from my nephew's girlfriend's living partner, whatever you want to call them, this morning, and she said there's a meeting tomorrow in Canberra to decide on when to open the doors. She said it could be in a couple of weeks.
Oh, it's not to let you in.
Probably, yeah. But I'm applying for an exemption, but I don't think I'll get it.
Oh, because of the cousin.
We shall see.
Mm.
Well, the guys this morning were saying this. They thought it was opening up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it said should be in about a fortnight's time. She reckons. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll.
Right.
I'm leaving here. Touch wood on the 25th of April.
Right. And you're going to Sydney?
Yeah.
Just Sydney?
Well, it depends how far they'll let me travel when I get there. But it's only a relatively short visit this time. I usually go for 2 months, but they'll only let me go for 5 weeks now.
Well, I know somebody that could pick you up at the airport. He's not 100 miles from you.
Yeah.
Well, I think he might charge you.
I've already got a chauffeur. Thank you very much. Yeah. 6:30 in the morning, my flight arrives.
Yeah.
No, well,
Yeah.
It's all right. It was there at 4 o'clock this morning, so that's nothing new to him.
No.
It's funny. The last time we flew to Australia, it was funny. There was a huge storm on the East Coast, like there is now. And we were going on a cruise out of Sydney. And we missed 3 flights that day to get from Seattle to Los Angeles. And we got the last Qantas flight out, and the 747 had like 20 people on. So we had all the stuff. We had all the stuff we wanted from the stewards.
John, listening to your cruising, I'm suspecting you're getting pretty near. You've actually travelled more cruises as a passenger than you did as a crew member.
Well, not really, but just in the last year or so, and we'll be going again soon. But now tell you who that is. That'd be Angelo.
Angelo.
He almost
lives on them.
Lives on the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, I just got confirmation today we've been upgraded before we've gone.
Oh,
We've got
to
an
what?
Deluxe suite, I think it was called.
Nice.
On the Regal, okay.
Yeah.
That was interesting what Stan Jameson
Are
said
you
last
feeling
week.
better, by the way, Steve? You feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brendan, I can update
The daffodil poisoning.
we talk about that. I don't understand VAR. I'll give up with it.
Brendan, I can update you on that. Stan actually sent me an email.
Okay.
With the letter about these pension concessions.
Uh-huh.
But I spoke to him. It appears you have to be a P&O pensioner.
Right.
Receive a P&O pension, not a Merchant Navy ratings pension.
Right.
So I sent that email to Steve, Pete, Dave, and the Colonel, I think it was.
Right.
They were the only email addresses I had. But I guess you need to ring P&O and ask them. You know, there's a name on it and a telephone number.
Yeah.
That's Steve, Pete.
We're not ready to do one yet, but it'd be useful to know in the future.
Yeah, no.
But you have to be a P&O pensioner.
Yeah, I've got a P&O pension.
Once upon a time, before Carnival took it over, P&O used to send out literature to pensioners about cruises and what you could do and the discount, but they don't do that anymore. I think,
You know, I don't. Who actually gets a P&O pension out of us lot?
I do.
I do.
There's quite a few.
No, you get a Merchant Navy pension, surely.
No, I get a P&O one.
I get P&O.
I get P&O.
Yeah. I was in the P&O pension, I think it was 66, 1966, so I had quite a few years.
Right. Would you, Steve?
Alan?
Steve, is yours
No, I'm not going to P&O pension. No. I don't have a pension because I transferred it years ago when I was in financial advice, financial services.
Yeah, but was it actually a P&O pension or a Merchant Navy?
No, Merchant Navy pension. Ratings pension.
Yeah. Which I thought the majority of us had.
I was in the Merchant Navy pension, but I was working for P&O Ferries out of Dover, and we if we wanted to change over, we could. What was happening in just over, a lot of people were taking medical severance out of the pension, and some of them were really, and thought that the pension won't be sustained if it carries on. One guy got a full pension in his 40s because he was seasick. And I remember thinking, well, I don't know about it. So, and the P&O pension was a better pension anyway. So I just transferred it over, and then that was it.
The P&O pension was one of the best going years ago, mainly because when people retired, the average was about 5 years before they kicked the bucket. And so the
I've been retired 2 years. That's good news.
Well, I believe it became embarrassing. But that's all changed now.
But it does. There's less pensioners, but I'm not sure you get the money because my brother was an ex-coal miner, and a lot of the coal miners are dying, and the pension fund is massive.
Yeah.
And he's getting lots of money, but the government are taking a lot of it back. I don't know how that works, but he was saying the government are claiming a lot of the funds out of the miners' pensions.
I didn't think the government could touch your pensions.
This is money, I think this might have been money where they supported years ago or something, or there's a clause in the contract, he was saying. And so they're not getting as much as they would hoped.
I wouldn't have thought it would have affected a company pension, which is what the P&O one is.
No.
So, Pete, what you say you've got a P&O pension?
Yeah. I took about maybe 5 years ago. I took a quarter of it out as well.
Yeah.
So I've still got it for as long as outlast me. So I've got the same with a BBC one as well. I've done all right for pensions in the last 25
BBC
years.
good.
Yeah.
You guys out in Australia, are you claiming your pensions?
Hey, no.
I see you're talking about handbags still.
Yeah.
Always on the
These are
agenda.
legal ones.
Have you claimed your Merchant Navy pension over in Aussie? Macca?
What's that?
Have you claimed your Merchant Navy pension?
Yeah, I've got Merchant Navy pension. Yeah.
And your state pension, have you claimed that?
The state? No, I haven't claimed state. No.
You should be entitled to a state pension as well, a UK pension.
Some of the lads out here, I know Callow and Doris. They got lump sums sent out.
Yeah. Well, we got John a lump sum and a monthly pension, didn't we, John?
Well, from the national insurance, I got nothing from the Merchant Navy because I cashed out. Well, I retired twice, but Steve put me onto the national insurance, and I got about $8,000 from them, and I get a monthly pension. Yeah.
Get a beer out of that, Steve.
Not yet. Still waiting.
Yeah.
Cost me 400 quid go down to Southampton to get one.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's gone quiet. I've seen
Go on, Derek.
John told me I was the historian.
The crew bar historian.
And I automatically thought of pubs and bars and things. But I had a look, and about in 1971, the All Sover hit the headlines because there was 2 seamen in the court in Sydney for the attempted murder of a master at arms. I just wondered if there was anybody who was on the All Sover might remember that.
I was on the All Sover.
I read about it, but I don't know about it.
I don't know anything about what happened to them, whether they were found guilty or not.
What date was that, Derek? Was it?
It was
73?
February 71.
Yeah, I was on the All Sover then. I remember it happening, but I don't know what the outcome was. I was only a bellboy.
Yeah,
I was on the then.
And at the same time, the All Sover made a mercy dash to an American ship to take it off an officer who needed medical treatment, and that hit the headlines as well at the same time. That might have been a year later.
And Jameson might be able to put you in now. Remember that one?
No, I just thought somebody, because we don't hear a lot about the All Sover at all, do we?
That's one ship I never sailed on, actually, was the All Sover and the Iberia. I think they were the only two I missed, I think.
I was at sea school when she went out of Tilbury on a maiden voyage.
Well, the Iberia or the All Sover?
All Sover.
Well, yeah.
The All Sover.
Huh?
That would have been in the early 50s.
1954 it was.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sold for scrap in 1974.
So, Noel, I thought you'd have a bit of a smile on your face after yesterday's result, or are you waiting for Taffy to come on?
Well, after seeing, no, I'm just watching the French today. I don't know. We'll wait till next week to make a decision.
Are you playing France next week?
Playing France in Paris, yeah.
Oh,
Although Italy held them to 1 point at half time,
yeah.
and they were unfortunate to give away the last try. So, yeah, we have hope. We have hope.
Have you got an English coach there?
Of course, we have. We've all Englishmen. Englishmen.
Yeah, Andy Farrell. You got
Send him back.
Andy
Send him back
Farrell.
over here. We'll give you the Aussie one we got.
I think the little weasel, is it?
Eddie Jones.
Yeah, he's a little weasel.
I don't know. I think if he doesn't do anything this time round, I think they might let him go.
The Jocks got lucky yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, bad decision. I thought it was a bad decision.
Penalty try.
I think it was a bad decision. I think it was a bad decision. I don't know.
I thought it was a bit harsh.
Should have gone for the draw.
Well, he would have scored a. He would have scored a try, wouldn't
Gone
he?
for the draw.
There's no doubt he would have caught them.
I think the ball would have gone out.
Well, would he have? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It seemed a bit
He
harsh.
could have got a draw.
Yeah, that's right. He should have got a penalty when they were right in the Scottish 22 at the very end there on the scrum, but he didn't give it, did he?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the way it is.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what time zone Noel's on. Because that clock at the back of him doesn't say 25 past 7.
He's got family all over the world. So 11 American one and 11 Australian one.
Yeah, the American one stopped working.
Oh, I get you now.
The Aussie one is right, Steve. You see the ship? You see the ship that's behind me? Can you see that one? No.
Oh, it's the Sun Princess, yeah.
No, I think that's the Pacific.
Oh, is it?
I think it is.
It looks like the one of the Sun Princess. Oh, it might be.
Yeah, I can't
So
see
that
it.
picture behind you, Steve, is when they did the transfer of the passengers over to the QE2.
What's that? Sorry.
That picture behind you,
Where
is
am
that the story you were relaying last
I?
week about?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Pacific. Well, that was the Sea Venture. That.
Yeah, and she took all the passengers.
What became the Pacific Princess?
Right.
What's written on there? Can't see what's written on it.
Greetings, everybody.
Hello, Colin.
Hello, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
And as I say, we took baggage across.
Sorry for the delay.
Ended up pissed in the
The
bars.
computer was doing an update on security, so it wouldn't let me in. So
No problem. Anything to report, Colin? No.
How the fish?
yeah, you lot have been very quiet because Man United lost the other.
No,
What's the matter with you?
all, Colin.
See what I mean?
I had a moan this morning.
We had the VAR complaints this morning, but he's getting over it. He's not so bad now. He's mellowed a bit.
It's always the same with Man United. The Man United supporters, they always hide away when they lose. Can't say that when they win.
I wasn't hiding away. Not at all. It was our own fault. We missed a penalty and I believe Fernandes missed a sitter. We should have bogged it, but we didn't. Simple as. Anyway, enough said.
Enough said.
Anyway, Colin, we've lost 2 of our fish.
What fish?
We've got a big fish tank.
Oh, you got one, have you?
Lost 2 fish.
John will be interested in this.
The cichlids, Colin. Cichlids.
You got what?
Cichlids.
I don't even know what that is.
The big fish, the big ones.
Are they fresh water?
Fresh water, South African cichlids.
Oh, so that sounds like somebody pick up in the Orient. That does.
Anyway, she changed the water the other week. She changed too much and dropped them.
Pretty.
Too cold, and 2 of them snuffed it.
No,
too
I
much. I
have.
did what to them?
Change
How big's your
the
tank?
water.
No, how big's the tank? How many litres?
Oh God, it's huge. It's about 5 foot long.
Right. My tank's a corner one, and it's nearly 200 litres of water.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's a big one. It's a big one, Colin.
And
Hope that doesn't break,
I
Colin, because you're going to get your carpet wet.
I do.
Make
Yeah,
sure you
I
put
know,
some.
yes.
Make sure you put some antifreeze in it.
Yes.
That will kill them.
I do a water exchange every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I clean the filter out at the same time.
Yeah. Well, she changed the water, did a water exchange, but she took too much water out. And when she put the cold water in, I think it shocked them a bit.
The old fish go like that. Bloody hell, that's cold, Steve.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
No. Apparently, they like the cold water. It's like having a shower.
No,
really?
not these six.
They like the cold water. And it heats up again to the tropical.
No,
I wonder who asked them that.
My lot don't mind it at all.
No, they don't.
Who
like
asked the fish that?
Pardon?
Who asked the fish that they had that they liked a cold shower?
I read it in one of my books.
So Noel, Seamus sent a picture through this week of daffodils.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
daffodils. Now, I went up to my neighbour and said, "Look at that," because we haven't got ours through, and we live on the Riviera down here, and he reckons they're plastic. He said they're fucking plastic ones. He said, "You know what they're Irish like?" He said, "They're always up to tricks. They're trying to make you jealous of the weather."
I tell you.
So tell Seamus, there's a local gardener here thinks his daffodils are plastic.
We've not got flowers in it.
But I tell you, if you're a daffodil who come out today here, you soon put your head back in because it would freeze bass monkeys here today.
Yeah.
There's plenty of daffodils down our way, Brendan.
No, I think it's the variety we've got. I'm not sure.
Ours have come up, but they're not. Ours are up, but they're not flowering yet.
Yeah,
that's right.
They've got the green leaves, but no flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as mine on the pots, in the pots.
Yeah. They'll come out about another week or so, maybe.
They'll come out. We just think
temperature.
We just think Seamus is cheating a bit there. Put some plastic ones up.
Yeah, how about this? Listen to this, guys. We've been careful over the last 2 years, trying to stay away from COVID and all that. And we managed to stay free of COVID for 2 years. Stuart goes out for an evening out last weekend and comes back with fucking COVID.
You're giving it to you?
No, he hadn't given it. We locked him in his bedroom for a week. Unbelievable.
You shouldn't be there tonight, Colin. You could give it to us.
Yeah, you could give it to us. It could come through the airwaves.
Colin, I've had it.
You have it, yeah?
I've had it. New Year's Eve, I got it.
I know you had it, Steve, because you said previously.
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
Evening, Steve.
Yeah, I had it I tested negative last Sunday. It was a week before I got it from somewhere.
Yeah. In fact, Brendan this morning asked the question, who has it? The first member of the crew bar to get it was our anchorman, Dave. He got it in 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And that's when it was different, when people were going to hospital and that. But he was okay.
But he had no symptoms, apparently.
Yeah.
But in 2020, when it all kicked off, Louise and I were in Port of Vallarta.
Yeah.
When it all kicked off.
Well, seafarers, they say seafarers have got quite short lives, but actually they live quite healthy lives when they're on board ship. They're up and downstairs, they're running around lounges, they're changing cabins or bunks in cabins, or they're cooking. So they're quite physical jobs, aren't they?
Do I need to get closer to my...
Sorry, Colin? I didn't hear that, sorry.
Yeah. No, so I keep losing everybody.
Oh, okay. It's the lifestyle
so
that gets them in the end, you see.
I was going to say it's the liver that lets them down.
It wasn't for that bloody liver.
I don't know what you mean.
Brendan, the alcohol intake might have something to do with it.
Yeah, well, that sort of weighs one against the other, isn't it? It's the yin and the yang.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah.
I expect you most of you remember the Oronzi when it had the typhoid on board.
You're probably right, Dave.
And they did a survey afterwards on what people were drinking and all the rest of it. Well, it turned out that those that were drinkers were the ones that didn't get it. The ones that were drinkers, and you had a European deck and engine department in those days, and because their wages were a lot lower and they couldn't afford the alcohol, they were the ones that were catching it. They were the ones that were drinking water. So it proves that if you have a drink, it helps you along.
I was just wondering if there's many people here that have got a drink they can't drink because they had such a bad experience with it.
Gin.
For me, when I was a catering boy, I got drunk on Bacardi Coke, and I haven't touched it since in 50 years.
I'm the same. I got
so ill.
I got the same one trip on the Chusan with Bacardi. Well, you know,
mine was.
I've never drunk it since.
The old Cuba Libre.
Cuba Libre, right?
Very, very popular.
My worst one was Southern Comforts. I got so smashed on it. God knows how I got home. I did. I walked home, absolutely wrecked, and I've never had one since. And that's 50 years ago.
Never. It wasn't last week, was it? 50 years ago, Colin. It does stay with you, doesn't it? Same with me for Bacardi. I could never touch it.
Yeah, mine is dark rum and blackcurrant.
Rum and blackcurrant. Oh yeah, that's a good old fashioned drink. That is.
I love the rum. I can drink the rum, but the blackcurrant makes me heave.
So you don't like a blackcurrant squash then?
Yeah, no.
I've never had the problem myself. I just carried on.
I'll tell you where I got pissed on that, Bob. I'll tell you where I was, Bob, when I got pissed on that. Blackpool Tower Ballroom.
All right.
Yeah.
You must have been.
Were you dancing at the time then,
You must have
Steve?
been misbehaving yourself then.
No, I wasn't dancing, I can assure you.
I'll tell you,
rocking and rolling a little bit.
I'll tell you a bit of a gruesome tale when you talk about throwing up on drink. I can always remember we were in the Goanese bar on the Canberra, behind the bar. It was closed.
Yeah.
There was a guy there and he puked up into a glass. And he said, "Oh, can't waste it," and drank it.
Oh dear, that's dreadful.
That's a bit too much information there, I think.
That is true. I can't remember what his name was now. Yeah, behind the Goanese bar.
It wasn't Jimmy McGee with Creme de Menthe, was it?
The Goanese had a separate bar on the Canberra, didn't they?
I can't even remember who the barman was. There was about 4 of us in there about, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning or something. And this guy, I can't even remember what he was drinking. And all of a sudden he said, "I'm going to be sick." And he got this, and it was a pint glass, and he just went, "Rah!" He said, "Oh, I can't waste that."
That's dreadful. That is dreadful. That is the worst thing ever.
I don't even remember there being a Goanese bar on the Canberra. There's a separate bar from the crew bar, was there?
Yeah.
The Goanese.
It was in the mess.
It was quite. It was in the Goanese mess.
It was in.
I got put down there once. Dougie Williams put me down there for a punishment duty.
Right.
Yellow card job, was it?
Yeah.
It was just around the cabin, around the corner from the TRS's cabins.
That's right. You walked across the mess room and it was there.
Yeah.
So I did the crew bar on the Canberra, but I don't remember it unless they stopped it by then. I don't know.
The crew bar was forward and up the top, wasn't it? On another deck.
Yeah.
The Goanese bar was a hatch.
Goanese bar was down.
The crew bar,
hatch.
The crew bar was on the
Goanese crew deck.
Yeah, the crew bar was on the starboard side on Canberra, and the lead man's bar was on the port side.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go to the PO's bar in the evenings when we finished.
Yeah.
The crew bar would be shut.
So all you guys, Scotty and Colin, all all that red wine you drink, where's it from? Is it French you drink over there?
Red wine, I make my own.
Oh, do
You
you?
make your own wine?
Homebrew.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
That's-
I buy a kit, and it makes 28 to 30 bottles. And it's
Should have had
ready.
you on the. We should have
It's
had you on the
ready.
Sun Princess all those years ago.
it's ready in 2 weeks to drink.
Really? Good heavens!
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
And it's
Have you heard of that, Stevie? What?
I'll tell you what have I got? This is a Pinot Noir I've got, and I make a delicious white Pinot Grigio. They're nice as well. And the kit costs about £38, and you get 28 to 30 bottles.
Jesus. That's all right.
I've never
So
heard
what do
of
you do?
that.
Just keep empty bottles and then.
I just keep empty
them up.
bottles that I bought. Yeah.
Mine's a Tia Maria. I got it from
You need to
Sainsbury's.
say that this I've got in my hand tonight is the first drink I've had for 6 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't had anything for 6 weeks, so this is my first
Why
one.
was that?
Oh, no reason. Just
Give it a break.
a break.
Is it religious?
Scotty, what do you drink?
Is it religious wine, Colin? So after you've had a drink of it, you say, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's actually because it's been in the bottle for about 2 months now. It's
Right.
actually improves with flavour. It's very nice. Really, really is nice.
That's so doughty.
Yeah, we also have a delivery of Angel Wines. Ever heard of Angel Wines?
No.
Like naked
No,
wine.
it's a guy that has found small wineries across France and Italy and across the world.
Okay.
And he delivers to your front door all different wines, Arabellas, like the Cabernet Sauvignon Merlots, the white wines are good Chardonnays. So some of them are lethal. Some of them are 15%. Absolutely
It's like
lethal.
naked wines out here, Steve.
Right, Naked Wines. That's who it is.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
excuse me a
naked
second. Can I talk to my anchorman, Dave's replacement? Could you welcome Mr. Bacon?
Hello, Alan.
Good evening. Good evening.
Is it?
It's part of your job description to welcome people, Bernard.
Well, Colin I was so engrossed in Colin's winemaking. Alan slipped under the radar there and slipped in round the back very quietly, like he always does.
You've also got to get into your wardrobe, Brendan.
Yeah.
You got to find a nice outfit to put on.
Colin, it must be nice wine, but crushing them grapes is a bastard.
It comes in a complete kit, and all you got to do is add water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get everything.
Like to do with most things.
Well, yeah. You don't have to buy any sugar or anything like that. It comes.
It actually sounds like you're talking about handbag again.
I don't know what you mean, David. I don't know what you mean.
Colin, you said not to use any sugar. No, but nobody told my pretty that.
Very funny. I'm just gonna turn my camera around a second, and let's see if I can show you what I have. There's one of my wine racks.
One of them.
There.
Okay.
See that? That's one of my wine racks.
Where's the good stuff then?
Yeah, there's
that's hidden away.
Several parts around.
They're waiting to have the labels put on them.
I know where you can get those from.
Load more there.
Are they all your homemade wines, Colin?
No. Some of them are.
You're a bit of a plonky then, eh?
Oh, okay. So it's a mixture.
That's
really interesting.
There's a mixture.
I was wine steward on the Sun Princess, and I got caught by Sammy decanting the white wines out the leftovers out the bottles, put them all into one bottle basically to sell as glasses, as you know. And Sammy Bradford walked in and stood behind me while I was doing. What the hell are you doing? I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "I'm taking it to have it with my dinner." Said, "Yes, I can bet you are." Every little drop of white wine out of every bottle.
There's one turn on the Sun Princess when he was deputy captain, and we used to in Vancouver. We had a problem with the television in the crew mess, and we hired one from ashore. Well, when we finished Alaska cruising, it had to be landed. Well, Sammy kept phoning me up. Make sure you land this television. Make sure you land this television. Anyway, we sailed from Vancouver, and the next morning, I went up to the senior AP's office, and the door was open as it normally was. And I just said, "Has Sammy phoned you up about this television?" And he just looked sort of further straight ahead. When I poked me out and ran the door, there's Sammy stood there. He said, you got something to say, Baker? I said, yes, I wish the deck would open up and swallow me.
Yeah. Anyway.
I should tell you my story, how that Sammy became a great friend of mine. So much so that when his wife was on the ship, he invited me on the inspection vehicle up to Lake Bennett. But the reason was, back on the days of the Oriana in the stern gallery, part of my job was to go on deck to clear the glasses off the deck, because he hated glasses on the deck. Well, I figured it out. He would come over the top deck about, who knows, 10:47 exactly. So what I'd do, I'd place a bunch of glasses at 10:44, and I'd time it, and I start picking the glasses up. So he saw me every day picking these glasses up, which I had placed there. And for that, I was his golden boy.
Okay, Johnny. At least you like somebody.
Yeah, he liked me. Yeah.
He's dead now, isn't he, Sammy?
Yeah, died a few years ago.
What happened
He
now?
had dementia. He had dementia, I think.
Oh.
His wife goes to the pensioners' luncheon. I haven't been there for a couple of years. Last time I was there, she was there with his son, and I had quite a conversation with him. So, I mean, I got on with him afterwards. I mean, I had a few up and downers with him, but on Canberra, he used to come round and see me. Well, I also on the Uganda, I flew down to the Falklands, Ascension and whatever, and he was on the same flights. But on the Canberra, when he was getting near retirement, and he came round to me in the baker shop, and he says, John, he says, you know, I'm retiring. He said, I'm not having a big party. I'm just having a small one and inviting my friends. Because the others said, you'll probably be the only one there then. But it's quite sad, really, because him and his wife, Pat, came on the Canberra sometime afterwards for a cruise. And I met them on the buffets and one thing and another. And he said, "Oh, John," he said, "do you think I could have a walk around the galley sometime with you?" He says, "I'd just like to have a look." So I said, "Well, I'll just have to check it." I says, "Because you know what the situation is now with visitors coming in the galley." And I knew what some of the Steve Mann was the deputy purser catering. So I said to Steve, I said about it. I said, "Will that be all right?" "No, it won't," he says. He said he knows what the rules are. So I had to politely tell him that no, he couldn't come around the galley. But anyway,
oh, wow.
I did invite him and his wife down to the cabin one evening before dinner for drinks. And I think from what I heard afterwards, I was the only one that sort of entertained him. He was ignored by pretty well everybody on board. And quite sad, really, because although he was captain.
That's a shame, actually, because he was actually okay. He was a bit gruff at times, but he wasn't that bad.
Here's Captain Bradford. Yeah, well, welcome to Channel 4 News. Now some days, of course, after we've had the fire, but I'd like to take this opportunity of thanking everyone on board who took part and helped when we had our little moment of drama. Without doubt, the prompt warnings we had, plus the firefighters that dealt with the fire, saved what could have been a far more serious fire. Of course, we've had an inquiry that we're required to do so by the company during instances like this to ascertain the cause of fire.
In latter years, I got on with him very well, in actual fact. Yeah. And on the Uganda, he used to come round with his, when we was down in the Falklands, he'd come round the galley every morning with his blueberry and everything on. And he'd poke his head in the baker's shop and come in and have a natter. But when I first went on there and he was doing this, and we had, was it a Pakistani crew on there, I think it was, and the one that they used to call number one. and Sammy was in there chatting with me, and he was standing on the side. So I said, "Oh, Captain," I said, "have you met my number one?" and introduced him. Do you know, I couldn't do anything wrong with that. He said, "Oh, you're friends with the captain," and they wouldn't let me do anything. They did everything because Sammy used to come in and see me every morning.
He was just a nosy old sod, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Always like he wanted to know what was going on, and if it wasn't going right, you know, he would poke. They reckon he used to stand outside the bureau on the Oriana at 5 to 8 in the morning and make sure they opened the shutters bang on 8 o'clock.
Yeah. On the Sea Princess one turn, outside the confectioner shop where the service was, they had all the decking down. Of course, there was a lot of asbestos on that ship, being one of the old ships, and this was down for quite a while, and there's all this blue asbestos there. I'd put chits in quite a few times over a few days, and nothing was done about it. Anyway, Sammy comes in one morning there. So, "Is everything all right, Baker?" So I said, "Well," I said, "you see that decking down up there?" I said, "That's been down here." I said, "For 4 or 5 days." I said, "I put shits in about it." I said, "Nothing's been done." I said, "There's asbestos up there." I said, "You've got these waiters walking underneath it with food and trays and everything. Leave it with me." 5 minutes later, the chief engineer comes tearing, went, "What have you been saying to the captain?" He wasn't very happy. I said, "Well, I've been putting the chits in." I said, "Nothing's happened." I said, "The captain asked me if everything was all right." I said, "I told him it wasn't." So anyway, it was all done within a matter of an hour of me telling the captain. So, I mean, he was good in that respect.
I remember in the International Lounge one morning, we got up there and I think it was Martin Hawke or someone from the purser's side, and they were doing a full stock take in the bar, which was, and I remember the barman at the time, one was Bombol, it might have been Colin there, it was like twitchy on their feet, so what they're going to find, you know. And
no, don't remember that.
Bonbon said, he said, "I think I might have put my foot in it." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "Well," he said, "we're at the bar last night talking, and Sammy said that he'd got a new Mini Metro car." And he said, "What do you drive?" He said, "Well, I just bought a new Rover 3.5 litre. And Dave carried on. So, of course, he's got a Rover 3.5. So we think it wouldn't. Dave Bonbon was putting 2 and 2 together. I don't know. Maybe it's just been a spot stock check. But yeah, Bonbon thought he'd put his foot in it. You worked with Bonbon a lot, Colin, weren't you?
I did, yes, I did indeed. Yeah, we had the International, we did the UJ, we did the Starlight Bar. And when I went to Sea Princess, he was in the, can't remember where he was now, the one below, I don't know, the Lookout Bar. I was in the Lookout Bar. Anyway, I was going to tell you a story. You mentioned about cars. Dougie Bayliss, this was on the Sun Princess. He was talking at the bar to, I think, the second engineer, and I think his name was Hislop, John Hislop.
Oh, Ian Hislop. John Hislop, yeah.
It's second engineer?
Yeah.
Something like that. And there was a general chit-chat going on between them, and they were talking about cars, and there was another officer there as well, who I don't remember who it was, and he said, they're talking about cars, and they said, "Well, what kind of car you got, Dougie?" And Dougie says, "A Jensen." Sorry, a Jensen in those days was a big bugger.
Jensen Interceptors, yeah, really.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a Jensen Interceptor. He had a Jensen Healy.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't tell him that. He didn't tell him that. He just left it as a Jensen. That was it, and walked away. Left them going.
I remember Mother Brock rolling up once. I don't know what ship it was, in a chauffeur-driven Rolls Royce.
That's right.
Dropping her off at the gangway. Yeah,
that's outrageous. That is, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
I've heard that story. Actually, I have heard that story before.
I've heard that story, and that the taxman caught up with him. Apparently, I don't know if it's true.
Won't be surprised.
He's no longer with us, Frankie Brock, though, is he?
Oh, he passed away some time ago.
Yeah. Oh. So how's Bobo? Sorry, you've come into the real. We didn't welcome you.
No, that's okay. Sorry, I was late, and then the Wi-Fi was not very good, so just yeah. But anyway, I made it in. So it's some interesting stories there. So yeah.
How much longer are you staying in Dubai for, Bobo?
I'm staying till the 24th of February.
Oh, lovely.
So I've still got a little bit, and then I'm heading over to the QE2 on Tuesday and Wednesday again. But they've started the tours back up of this ship. So I was friends with the guy that was on the front desk, a South African guy that's actually going to take that tour. So I'll join him on that. So it should be good. Yeah. So I'm just going to spend a couple of days there. So it'll be interesting again. So I'll see some other parts of the ship that I couldn't see before. So, but it's a bit busier on the QE2 now, because before literally I was the only person.
That's right. Yeah.
Except with 200 or 300 other COVID passengers locked into their cabins in the lower decks. So, but it's still a COVID quarantine hotel. So
you could have a look in Steve's hot box, see if you can find any old saunas.
Well, actually, I was looking in the restaurant for his hot box. Yeah. Oh dear.
Hey,
I reckon it'd be hard work on that ship.
Oh, I'll tell you a story about the hot box on the QE2. We're always bloody pissed at work.
Right.
And you used to open the door and you shout down.
Every one of you is frozen on my screen.
2 medium.
Are you all live?
Yep.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Yeah.
Go on, Steve. Carry on, Steve.
The hot box. 2 medium steak, please. And they're already in there. They've been in there for a fucking month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I went into that restaurant and they're doing it up, and they had all the furniture all piled up in the middle. But the hot boxes were all there. I walked past all the hot boxes. I was thinking, oh God, I felt sorry. But I hated being a winger, honestly. When I was on the Canberra, winging wasn't for me. I just didn't like it. And I'd imagine working on the QE2 would be a nightmare. I don't know how you did 2 years, Steve, on it. They used to always say it was
all silver service. Nothing on the plate at all.
Oh God. And it was hard work, wasn't it, Steve, on there?
Yeah, it was hard work.
But was the money
lasted
good?
half a cruise on the True Sound Tourist Restaurant.
Oh gosh.
Then I got spare ABR or something.
Oh God. I only lasted 2 weeks. That was enough for me. and then I managed to score the job as a cinema attendant, which was great, on Arcadia. And then from there I went up to the bars. And otherwise I don't think I would have stayed at sea. I just couldn't cope with it. I was in the aft restaurant on Canberra. My tables were a new boy furthest from the bloody galley.
That's right, always was, yeah.
Yeah, always was. And then I survived the half. I did the first sitting of the lunch, and then I went to have a drink of water. I came back, and the Go-Go's had stripped all my tables. There was nothing on it. No cutlery, no nothing. Just before the punters were coming in. And I went to the head waiter and I said, mate, what's going on here? You know, I've got nothing. Someone stole all my stuff. And basically, he didn't give a shit. He just said, well, you want to be more careful next time. And that was it. And
who was the head waiter?
It really put me off winging. But I managed the 2 weeks. But the passengers were nice. They were all Blackpool landladies from the guest houses. You know, they'd done the season, and they were going on their holidays. But they were good people. They were good people. I had I think, 4 and 2 juices. Yeah, I had 8. Yeah, it was okay. But survived 2 weeks and I signed off. Yeah, so that's my story.
Well, I think we're approaching the.
Yeah, before I forget, it's Fruity's birthday tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, nice!
Happy birthday!
Thank you, Fruity.
Happy birthday, Fruity.
Happy birthday.
Where are we all going?
Yeah.
Are
you doing anything special, Fruity?
No.
Oh.
Not at her age.
We'll have to send.
No.
They're ruthless on here tonight.
Steve down under, have you got any lawns to mow today?
Sorry?
Yeah, plenty today.
Yeah.
Plenty of mowing today. Pissing down though all night.
Fishing down.
It looks like a nice day now, Stevie.
Yeah, just what we need.
Is anybody here booked in for the 20th of May for the P&O reunion?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might go. We're not sure still yet, but fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
I lost everything then, guys. I've come back now.
I know you have. In fact, John, at the reunion, please introduce me to Sammy's wife, Pat. I wouldn't recognise her.
Yeah, I will do if she's there. Yeah.
Great to see her. Yeah.
There's a reunion, Colin. P&O Pensioners reunion on the 20th of May. Did you hear that?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're interested in going?
20th of May. That's almost reaching my platinum birthday.
Platinum.
Oh.
Is that right? What's the Queen doing at the moment?
Oh, 70, yeah.
Platinum years.
Getting up there, Colin.
That's me,
75.
27th of May.
In fact, we should mention that 70 years ago today, the king died and she became queen.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
They were saying it was very difficult trying to get the message to her that the king had died because where she was.
Right, yeah. In Kenya.
Everyone else knew, but
she was in. They were in Africa somewhere.
In Kenya.
They didn't have enough. They didn't have enough drummers.
Treetops.
Treetops. That's it. Yeah.
Couldn't get a signal.
Yeah, they didn't have enough drummers.
Didn't have WhatsApp.
They didn't have enough drummers.
Oh, bless her.
Well, I'm going to leave you. I'll hand over to the reins to Steve, and he'll be the one to shut the crew down.
What, to me? What am I supposed to do, John?
You did nothing. You
just say that's it. We're over.
Well, what happened this morning? It just went off.
What happened was I assigned Fruity. So when he went, it shut it down.
He's got the traffic lights up now.
But I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that. So I just left the meeting.
Yeah. So okay. It's all good.
Oh, the
So
traffic
anyway,
lights are up. Yeah.
I will see you all next week, and hopefully Anchorman Dave will be back. But Brendan, thank you very much, and please excuse
I didn't do anything really.
Excuse my humour when I say things. It's all in good fun, right?
What are you talking?
So early, John.
Okay, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys next week. I'll assign Steve.
All right.
See you, John.
See you, John.
There, John.
All right, you are assigned, Steve. There you go. I'm out of here.
All right, mate.
What he's saying is the music has started.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I
It's
don't know.
time to go.
You're supposed to wave.
Steve, if you click leave, everyone is.
Everyone leaves.
I can get rid of you all just like that.
I like it.
I'll start you off. I've got to go now. So
Well, happy birthday for tomorrow, Fruity.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, David.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, Rudy.
Bye.
See you guys next week.
Life's sweetest reward. Let it flow. It floats back to you. A love boat. Soon we'll be making another run. A love boat promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance. And love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. It's love.
war. Even with the war looking imminent, Orient Line ordered a new ship in 1913. She was to be called the Ormond and was 14,852 tons. Her propulsion was to be geared turbines to the main engines. She was to be built at John Brown's shipyard. However, once war started and Navy vessels took precedence over civilian ships, progress on her stalled to a crawl. She was eventually launched in 1917 and finished off as a troop transport for the war effort. No sooner had war been declared than Orvieto was taken up from trade as a troop ship by the Australian government. Otranto became an armed merchant cruiser, and also so was Otway and Orama. Omara became a troop ship for the Australian government, but was returned to the Orient Line in 1915 to resume the all-important passenger and mail service to Australia. The company had hoped to also get back Orvieto for the service, but their hopes were dashed when she was requisitioned as an armed merchant cruiser and was converted in a dry dock for its new role. The Orfea, to the great relief of the management, due to its high consumption of coal and exorbitant costs to run her on the mail service, was sold to the government and converted into an armed merchant cruiser. Orama was involved in the battle with the Dresden in the South Atlantic Ocean. She was hunting the Dresden with the Navy ships HMS Kent and HMS Glasgow. She was located in hiding in Cumberland Bay, Massa Tierra Island. There was a short engagement, then the Dresden's captain scuttled the ship and gave up and went aboard HMS Glasgow with his crew. The wounded crew were placed aboard Orama. Otranto was also in the South Atlantic and guarding the Falkland Islands. She came back to England in March 1915 and then entered the shipyard to be converted to an armed merchant cruiser. Orama was on patrol in the South Atlantic in late 1915 when she managed to capture a German ship. It was called the President Mitre. 1916 did not start well for Otway, as she was in a collision with the SS Dominion near Birkenhead. Otway was en route to a shipyard for overhaul, but the dry dock company had much more than they originally expected to do when she arrived. However, she did not really have serious damage and was soon repaired. So far during the war, Orontes had kept up the mail service to Australia. However, at the start of 1916, she became a troop ship for a year with the Australian government. Orient Line got back from the government service Orvieto in May 1916, but lost it again in July, when she became a North Sea patrol ship. Meeting foreign flag vessels, she would direct them into British ports to be searched. Omra was again taken out of the mail and passenger service in January 1917 and became a troop ship to convey Australian troops from Australia to England. A new scheme was started by the British government. It was called the Liner Requisition Scheme. 2 Orient liners were involved on the Australia to British Isles run. They were Osterley and the Omra. On the 14th of March 1917, Orsova hit a mine in the English Channel and 8 lives were lost. The captain, with great presence of mind, headed for Corsond Sound Bay, not far from Plymouth Sound, and managed to beach her, thus saving her from being a total loss. She was later raised and sailed to a shipyard in Liverpool to be repaired. However, Due to so many government ships taking precedent over her, she was a year languishing in the shipyard before repairs were started. Otway was sunk by a torpedo from UC-49 U-boat while on patrol off the coast of Scotland. A total of 10 lives were lost and the crew took to the lifeboats. Orontes was requisitioned under the liner requisition scheme and subsequently ran on the Liverpool to New York service. Orama was on convoy duties when she was hit by a torpedo while sailing off the Scilly Isles by the U-boat U-62 on the 19th of October 1917. The two American naval vessels, USS Cunningham and USS Jacob James, took aboard the surviving crew. Orama could not be prevented from sinking and was a total loss. In 1918, all the Orient Line ships were in government service and no ships were running at all for the line on the passenger and mail service. The board now faced another disaster, as Lord Inchcape of P&O Lines had managed to acquire 51% of Orient shares and thus had a controlling interest in the company. A new company was created to manage the Orient Line. It was called Anderson Green Company, with Andersons in charge of the management. However, both P&O and Orient would carry on as separate companies for some time and would retain their separate house flags and distinct identities. Omra was sunk by a torpedo from UB-52 U-boat in May 1918. Otranto was in a convoy on the 6th of October 1918 while transporting American troops to the war. The accident was unfortunate as it was caused by P&O ship Kashmir. Kashmir had a steering gear failure that made her turn into the side of Otranto, damaging the ship and rendering her dead in the water. The ships were in a false 11 gale at the time, and she drifted helplessly. HMS Mountsey managed to save 580 people, but 400 lives were lost as she went aground on the rocks on the island of Islay. Just before the war ended, Ossover was finally repaired in her Liverpool dry dock from her mine damage and was taken up by the government and put on the North Atlantic service by the liner requisition service. The war ended on the 11th of November 19. By now, Orient Lines had lost Omra, Otway, Otranto, and Orama. Orient had also sold Ophir to the government. This left the line with 4 ships to restart the passenger and mail service to Australia. During the war, the company vessels had between them sailed 534,792 miles during the hostilities. They had carried 622,780 troops and 15,000 prisoners of war. However, now was the time to rebuild the Orient Line. Well, that's all, folks, for this week. From Oscar. Oh, and always remember,
unknown